Okay, this is Harold the Gopher Boy for RockTicket.com, and we're here with a band that just finished a blazing set, and hopefully you'll see their video on our website. This is Laudamus. Yes. That's how you pronounce the name. And we have
Jonas on bass.
Jonas on bass.
And Peter, I'm a singer and guitarist.
Okay, and seeing their set, it was, you know, it's not old, the style you're doing. You got some freshness to the idea of metal and what you're doing, but if somebody has never heard the band before, how would you describe the sound?
Wow, how do you describe the sound? It's like we try to always have a good melody in the bottom and a lot of edge to it. So it's in the veins of you know, the old stuff like Stryper and Baron Cross. And
has anybody compared you to any secular bands? What secular bands do people say, oh, you sound like this secular band?
that's a very interesting thing because I have a list at home with all the bands. I think that people just compare to what they have heard and what they like. I mean, there was one guy who compared us with Rush, and one guy with Metallica, and Dream Theater, Halloween, Kiss, Iron Maiden, Stryper, Deep Purple, Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay, that's a good variety of stuff. In your touring, tell the audience that might be seeing this on the internet, where are you from?
We're from Sweden, actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
I am.
On being on the road, what is it that you miss about not being home, but you know you're out here for a purpose? What do you think is going on? What's the biggest pull, the purpose or not being home?
I mean, the only thing I miss at home is the food, I think.
Yeah.
How different is the food?
It tastes better in Sweden.
That's good. That's fair to say. You know, I come from a different part of the state, and I think the food tastes different down here too. So, what do you see? Have you had any strange or funny moments on the road? You go, those weird Americans, why do they do that? Okay, they're laughing, so that means they have something, but they're not going to tell it all.
What's that?
Yeah. When Americans eat, they never use a knife.
Okay.
And that's pretty funny. In Sweden, we always use a knife when we eat meat, but you don't do here. Very strange.
Same?
A fork and a knife is what, and you eat hamburgers just with your hands.
Yeah.
And that's what they do in the south of Sweden too, but in the north of Sweden we don't. We eat with a fork and a knife.
You'd be really shocked if you went to go eat Mexican food because it's all hands. They rarely have forks. Okay, as far as your own spiritual growth and maybe somebody who's watching this and maybe they haven't heard the band but they see you as Christians, what would you recommend to them, either a verse in the Bible or a book of the Bible or an author to go look at to help them in their spiritual growth?
I think the Gospel of John is a really good start. And Mark, these two is very, very good. And then I think it's very, very important to ask questions. That's the most important thing. A lot of people just read and they don't understand, and when they don't understand, they leave it. So keep asking your Christian friends or a pastor or whatever. Be a pain for them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they are for. I mean, that's...
I'll say amen to that because I'm a pain to my pastor. Okay. What does the band name mean? And out of what you perform as the band, what is your favorite song to perform in the parts that you do?
Laudamus is a Latin word, which means we worship.
All right. Now, finally, if somebody wants to get a hold of Laudamus T-shirts, CDs, where could they go find them? Or do you have a website that you can recommend to people to go find and hear your music and check it out?
Yeah, we have a website. It's www.laudamus. No, it's a dot first. Okay, laudamus.se.
Okay. And that's because you're in Sweden, right?
Yeah.
Okay, remember that. It's not a .com, it's a SE. Okay, that's fine. Let that fall. Well, thank you for the interview. And I'm Harold, the Gopher Boy for RockTicket.com.